begin, and I guess we can begin right now. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to start my timer so I know how much I've got. All right, so as of last episode, you guys were in Jerusalem. You had protected these three scientists from an attack. You had been sent off to help them gather information on what seems to be the tomb of King Herod of the time of Jesus, in the 0 century or 1st century AD. We learned a little bit about who King Herod was, but more importantly, that he seems to be linked to a greater, let's say, supernatural concept called the Cursed King. And you've seen from stealing research or from stealing information that these scientists had, you discovered that all over the world there are archaeological digs or research projects going on, all linked to this same inscription that's been found in various languages and cultures, all referring to the Cursed King, or a cursed king, a king who was cursed or whatever. It's still a little fuzzy, but those two words seem to pop up an awful lot in places that have no reason to be linked.
Cool.
You've also been informed that your mission is to help these guys figure this out because the other side, if we want to call it heaven, or if we want to call it the angels, or if we want to call it the virtuous side, has decided that they're tired of the fight and they have every intention of ending the world. You've also learned that this is not the first time they've done this. You're not sure how they plan to do it, but they do plan to do something.
Correct.
So back at your hotel, you are sharing a very nice hotel room with the three scientists. Not a hotel room, but you're sharing a nice hotel. You have your own rooms. We're going to start with Reese. Reese, have a quiet night's sleep. Nothing big happens. You sleep like the proverbial baby. You sleep very innocently, and you have no particular dreams of any kind. When you get up in the morning, you do your normal thing, a little bit of workout, some stretching. When you go to the mirror, you notice that you don't need to brush your hair. It's perfect. It's in place. Your hair is not messed up from sleeping like it usually is. You have no bedhead. You also kind of notice that, you're not a bodybuilder, you're a fighter. Fighters do not have cut muscles. You're starting, what have I been doing? But you're starting to notice that you're a little more cut than you used to be. It's just, you know yourself pretty well. You're physical. You're always keeping an eye on your own shape and watching your weight and your diet. But you're starting to look more like a professional wrestler type or a bodybuilder type than a fighter. It's just a little thing, but it's there.
Well, looking tight out, Sean.
You also don't seem to need to shave. You're used to shaving every morning, but nope. No stubble. There's no stubble.
Beautiful. Well.
Gottfried, your night is a little different.
Oh, I bet it is.
On the way home, you do what you usually do, and you pick up a girl. Or more importantly, she picks you up, because they're, when you get to the hotel bar, they're fawning all over you.
Of course they are. They always are.
Yeah.
They always are.
The thing is, it's nice. What the heck? You've had a busy day. You had to kill somebody. You might as well have a little company. You weren't told that you couldn't. You wake up in the middle of the night to something like a muffled noise. And it's okay. Go back to bed. And you do. Just this feeling, that's okay, roll over and go back to bed. When you wake up in the morning, your hotel room smells of blood. It smells violently of the inside of a human body. You've been around this an awful lot. You've had to clean up after some terrible tragedies, terrorist attacks, whatever. You know that smell. Now, there's no mess in the room. There's no blood in the room. There's no dead body in the room. It's not in the bathroom, nothing like that. Now, the girl you picked up isn't here either. But,
Envy.
told you, you're my friend.
Was haben Sie gemacht?
You just get this feeling like you're my friend. It's okay, boss. I'm your best friend. I'm here to look out for you.
Sure.
And vaguely you have visions of a dream where this massive silvery thing with a bow on its back in the middle of the night was ripping some poor girl to pieces, tearing the flesh off of her face with claws, screaming, "He's mine, you stupid bitch!"
Oh.
And I want you to roll on your self-control.
Okay.
I'm running upstairs to grab a cup, so things might go for a second.
What do I roll?
Okay,
D6?
grab a D10 for every dot you have in self-control and roll them.
Okay, so that means I have self-control. Okay, 3 out of 5. So.
Right now, you just don't want to get ones.
Right. I got an 8 and 2 6s.
Okay, you're fine. I mean, you're not fine. You're totally like a little freaked out by this, which is perfectly normal. You're not fine with this, and it's scary as hell. It takes you a little while to gather yourself. But also, you do realize that for whatever you seem to be getting, there's obviously a price to be paid.
Right.
But again, this isn't the first time you've had to kill an innocent person, or you didn't kill this person anyway. But you know you didn't kill them. I mean, you can feel it. You slept all night. You woke up vaguely in the middle of the night, had a strange sort of thing, and for some reason your room smells like fresh corpse, but there's no corpse here. So you're not even 100% sure it really happened. Just after you're a professional. I'm a professional, Mr. Bond. I shoot you from Stuttgart. I make it look like suicide, yeah?
Envy.
You're not getting any real answer. You just get a feeling like everything's going to be okay.
At least tell me one thing. If for some reason there was a body, what is their corporate?
I take care of you. It's all right. It's all going to be fine. I'm here to take care of you. I'm your best friend. I'd never let anything bad happen to you.
Of course you are. I'm going to take a shower.
You do? I mean, you don't need his permission. You don't need Envy's permission to take a shower. And you take your shower. You're supposed to be meeting these scientists to go back to the dig site at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So, you guys get ready. You go out to the hotel restaurant where you're supposed to be meeting for breakfast, and the three gentlemen do not show up. At 9:05, they are not downstairs having breakfast, which is really fucking annoying because you guys are professionals and you're used to punctuality, and they are not there.
How's they?
Oh, Godfried, I'm going to the rooms. Do you know what keys they have?
Yeah, you know the rooms. You know
but
exactly
I can
what rooms.
probably get into their rooms.
No,
without
you know
keys.
exactly what rooms they have. It's not a big deal. You know what rooms they're staying at.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
You go up, you go to knock on the doors, and there's no answer. I want both of you to roll perception and investigation, probably. Investigation or alertness, whichever one you have the highest in.
Okay,
So
so
investigation
alertness
and...
so
either way,
I'm
I'm rolling 5.
7 times.
5d6, right?
Yep. Standard difficulty of 6.
Okay.
D6 or 10s?
Always 10s. Always D10s.
10s, okay.
There's no dice in this game that isn't a D10.
Right. Okay. Dice
I got 3
roller.
successes.
You got 3 successes.
And it's a 5, correct?
6. Actually, difficulty is 6 this time.
6. Alright, so let me get my rolls here. 5, 4, 4, 7, 7.
Okay, all of the 477. All of the rooms have obviously had their locks tampered with or their doors tampered with. Now it's a hotel, so was it recent? You don't know, but like, yeah, there's definite tool marks on all of the doors. But the doors are closed and they are locked.
Huh.
Envy.
Yeah?
Can you help me get into the rooms?
I'm not sure
Or
what
would
it
this be
is.
something...
I'm not
Does I
sure
have to do on my
what
own?
it is you want me to do. I mean, I'm here to help you. You know I'm your friend, and you know I'll keep you from getting into any trouble.
Just watch my back.
You know what? Just watch the hall, Gottfried. I got this. And Reese lines up a kick. With
Oh, the door comes off. The door comes off the frame like it's made out of paper. Please, this is not a high security place. You don't even need to roll for that. You kick the door. You kick the door in, and both of you know you need to get the hell out of here right now. I'm not even going to make you roll. You kick the first door in, and there are probably 100 different pieces of what used to be that scientist nailed to the wall with actual nails.
Okay, time to go.
What the
Wait, hold on.
fuck is
So
going
Gottfried
on,
literally runs into the room, grabs all of the research notes, and runs out.
There's nothing. The room has been completely tossed. The room has been completely tossed. The only thing in there are chopped up pieces of what used to be this 20-something young research associate, probably chopped up in 100 pieces, and each piece nailed to the wall with a large silvery nail.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to go.
Yeah,
Agreed.
absolutely. But you feel so good, man. Yeah, I can't believe you kicked that door in. That was so badass. See, that's how you get it done, buddy.
I know, pride. I'm fucking tough. That's the whole point.
You're not just tough, you're smart too.
I'm not smart. That guy's just slow. Envy ain't the right demon for that job. The only demon you need is this fucking foot.
You have no idea he's possessed by a demon. Or even what demon it would be possessed by. You haven't the faintest
Alright,
concept.
fuck me. Sorry. Meta.
Yep. It's okay.
My own brain.
That's okay.
I just heard him talking to nothing, I guess, and I assumed he had something.
Oh no, that was like internal monologue.
Yeah. You as both. Neither of you
whenever
know
Gottfried
know
talks to Envy-
squat about each other at this point.
Whenever Gottfried talks to Envy, it's like complete inner monologue.
And a lot of the time, you're not even getting a monologue of an answer. You just get feelings. You get notions. Sometimes it's a voice in your head, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes just a feeling that, okay, it's going to be okay. Like, Gottfried, you're constantly being reassured by this overwhelming feeling that everything's going to be okay. You've got a friend who's going to look after you.
In that case, responding to the amp that I feel from pride, I'm like, inside, I'm like, yeah, I did fucking just kick the shit out of that door. That was
Damn right.
I punched the fuck out of that guy the other day, too. I broke his arm and I broke his fucking face. Hot damn. I didn't even
Too
do
hot.
anything
You're
like
right.
my title days.
You're right, and I want you to make a self-control roll.
Oh shit.
Just roll on your self-control, one per, and just don't roll once.
Where is my self-control? What did we decide I had for that?
3. You both have 3.
3, right. So just 3. Yeah. What's the DC? I got
Just don't roll
4,
once.
8, 9.
Just don't roll once.
Okay.
You don't feel the need to change anything about yourself at the moment. You're appreciating the fact that, hey, you look good, you're all right, but, like, you're still you. That's what really matters. You appreciate that there's a division, and you recognize that a lot of what's going on is obviously this voice in your head.
Well, yeah.
And you still feel capable of it. It's nice to get your ego stroked, but that's really all it is. It's stroking your ego. And you still recognize that, and so you're okay.
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
So there's no notes. We can assume the same thing happened to the other 2 scientists.
It doesn't take a brainiac, and you're not sticking around to find out. Like, but we would figure by now, one of them would have come to find you. More importantly, you've both been in the, let's say, underworld game long enough to know that you don't stick around to answer questions at a place where some guy's been chopped up to pieces.
No.
Especially
Yeah,
not.
that's why Gottfried was immediately like, see,
Goodbye.
okay, time to go.
Yeah, especially not fucking Jerusalem.
Question is, where the fuck do we go, Gottfried?
Somewhere that's not here. We go back to my apartment in Berlin. I have no idea. Probably not. No, we don't go to Berlin. That's not a good idea.
Your cell phone starts ringing.
Yes, hello.
Hello, this is the gentleman you met at the hotel. You recognize the voice of the guy who was like 6'9"?
Mr. White?
This is Mr. White, yes.
Yes, how are you?
We appreciate that you have had an issue. There have been several issues at research sites across the world. Leave the area immediately. The jet is fueled up and warming up at Ben Gurion Airport. You're on your way somewhere else. I will not tell you over an open line. Further report will be made on the plane. At the moment, we've got everything else covered. Just get out of there.
Understood.
Understood.
So Gottfried hangs up, relays the message to Reese, and
Reese
through
is
the
just hanging over his shoulder.
fucking ass.
Yep, go.
Yeah.
You make your way to Ben Gurion Airport, which I believe is the international airport in Jerusalem, unless it's the one in Tel Aviv. And I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me if I'm wrong. And you hop on a plane for the one. You hop on your private plane, which is still at your disposal, for the 1-hour flight to Cairo.
All right, we're going to Egypt.
Yeah. Once you're on the plane, a screen pops up and Mr. White is on the other side of it and says, I know you guys have done a good job so far. You did what you could, and what happened could not be avoided. More importantly, we have had attacks on teams pretty much across the world that were very well coordinated. We are looking into the possibility of a leak in our setup here, but that's not your concern. Both of you, from your bios, from your resumes, have some knowledge of science, of research and investigation, and a lot of our more scientific fellows have been taken out. We are going to need you to jump into their shoes as your own bodyguards and to continue the research in some fashion. We will be providing you with as much support and assistance as we possibly can. At the moment, you are heading for some ruins at the ancient Egyptian city of Thebes. More will be made known to you, or will be dropped off for you in document form when you arrive. That's all I can tell you for now.
Good.
All right, Mr. White. Seems like that's the most natural course of action anyway, considering that, well, those scientists weren't quite like us now, were they?
Oh, they were.
Oh my.
They were, but they were soft targets. Remember that the fact that you're possessed, you get the impression that you are possessed and tough, but you're not tough because you're possessed.
Okay.
I want you to make an intelligence and investigation roll, if you like.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for it.
Because you're starting to ask some questions here. So let's see if you pop up any answers.
Intelligence and investigation, you said?
Yeah. Just roll me an intelligence and investigation difficulty of 6. You are starting to ask the right questions.
Okay.
Okay.
9,
I got
4,
2 right.
10, 9, 3.
Okay,
So
so
I'm gonna roll an
9,
extra.
10, and 9 means you roll one more. Anything of 6 or better, let me know.
A 6.
Okay, so that's
I
4.
got 2 6s.
You got 2 6s and you got 4, and you're discussing this together. So we pull your dice for 5. Okay. Something really, really strange, aside from the fact that the guy's dead. There's something weird about how he's been killed. You've seen Reese, fighting. The guy obviously didn't fight back. You don't know much. It's hard for you to piece it together. You know the guy didn't fight back, which makes sense because he was kind of a wuss. But Gottfried, why was he nailed to the wall with silver nails? So according to you now, those nails were silver. Why was he cut into so many individual pieces? If they were just looking to take him out of the equation, that's kind of weird. That's sending an awfully big message if it's a ritual killing. It smacks more of an occult style ritual killing, like you've seen with some sort of with some of the cults that you investigated in GSG9, than it seems to be just murder. If they just wanted to kill him, I mean, you would have taken him out from a rooftop when he came out of the hotel.
Please. Did it occur to you that every single piece was nailed to the wall with silver?
Yeah, no shit.
Every single piece. This wasn't some kind of regular killing. No, this was a message from someone. From who? I have no idea. It might be the people who tried to attack our scientists. It might be some other extremist group. But at this current juncture in time, I do not know. I just know that this was no regular killing. This was ritual of some kind.
You get the impression that you're not worried about Silver, Gottfried and Reese. When he says Silver, Reese, there's something clicking in the back of your head, but you're not getting anything from it. But you also get the impression that Silver doesn't bug us.
Well, no, clearly, but interesting.
And
I have an idea. Excuse me, flight attendant.
Yes, sir.
Does this plane have Wi-Fi?
Of course, you have full access to the World Wide Web at your disposal, and she turns a computer to face you. Computer's going to face you.
Gottfried is gonna look up various things that are allergic to silver, mythological things.
Okay. Make me an investigation roll. Intelligence and investigation.
And intelligence?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's 5.
If you're looking to help, you can add your dice pool together, so.
Sure. I will...
Intelligence, investigation, Caboose.
Yep, so you get 4 extra rolls from me.
Cool, so I'm just gonna put 9 into my dice roll and just go for it.
Oh. 2 9s.
Roll me anything. This is pretty tricky to find anything that's keyed to you, so tell me anything over a 7.
Okay.
I got 2 9s in that case.
I got 3 7s.
Okay.
A 9 and a 10.
Okay, you can re-roll the 10.
1 extra. Another 9.
Okay, that's a lot of successes. Obviously, you get all the obvious things that you already knew. Werewolves.
Werewolves, vampires.
Some mythology holds that vampires have a problem with silver. Obviously, werewolves, fairy folk have been known to be susceptible to cold iron and silver. All of these different things, and most of them are, mythology, but you're starting to realize maybe that's not exactly true. Also, in some very ancient Celtic societies and Druidic societies, demons of emotion, some of them, like lust, like greed. Greed wanted silver constantly, but at the same time was burned and repelled by it because, they were damned.
Right.
So greed, gluttony, lust, these are things which could be affected by silver. Silver was always known to be pure. That in ancient times, silver was a symbol of purity because of its beautiful white color. Yeah, it's things that it was a symbol of chastity, purity, faith, strong belief, a strong moral compass. And so some of the more evil aspects of humanity could be banished and put down by silver. Things like especially greed, lust, and gluttony.
Okay.
Well then.
You rolled an awful lot of successes, so the
He's
World Wide
sure.
Web. And again, none of this is necessarily 100% canon. You're getting a lot of this off of Wikipedia pages onto the ancient occult.
Right.
But hey, it's a start.
It's a direction.
An hour later, you are landing in Cairo, and you are whisked through customs by a couple of burly security guards who just point at you, crook their fingers. Yeah, yalla, come this way. And you just zip right through customs. Your bags aren't looked at. You are popped inside of a Land Rover, and before you know it, you're on your way out into the desert with a laptop that's been given to you. And Mr. White is back on the laptop, on a Skype call, basically. So sorry, I had to get a few things in line and a few ducks in the row, as it were, and I knew that once we got you out into the desert of Egypt, you would basically be secure. You are looking in the ancient ruins of Thebes for a series of hieroglyphs which we have connected to our research, and obviously on the laptop they pop up. Your job is going to be fairly tedious. I'm sorry, we had a scientific team here and they were taken out. You're going to have to pick up the slack. And obviously, watch your backs.
Oh, of course.
Where there's a fight to be had, you know I'm gonna have a good time, Mr. White.
No problem. Don't listen too carefully to that voice. It'll lead you down some dangerous paths.
Don't worry about that. I'm always gonna fight, man.
All right. As it stands, try to avoid too much bloodshed if it's at all possible. We have had some serious incidents, and because of it, it's getting harder and harder to keep things out of the press and away from the public eye. So, quiet and in and out if you possibly can with whatever information you can glean. If you find any instance of these hieroglyphs, symbols, or anything else that seems to point in the right direction, take pictures, send them to our head office. You have the email address listed on that laptop we gave you, and if necessary, don't be afraid to just get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
We need you alive and working, more importantly than we need whatever information might be at that one location.
Good.
Consider it.
Your driver takes you out to a place where obviously it has been recently abandoned. Sorry, the ruins haven't been recently abandoned. These are millennia-old ruins of the ancient city of Thebes. But the archaeological dig site has been recently abandoned. It wasn't so long ago that people were working here. There's still shovels. There's still a couple of tents set up, some chairs, things like that. Porta potty, So obviously, up till very recently, people were working here. And he drops you off. He leaves you with supplies, food, water, points to all the setup and says, "Yalla, it's all yours, my friend." And then he drives off because he's not sticking around. You are alone in the ancient ruins of the prehistoric or nearly prehistoric city of Thebes.
Let's get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think we should start, Godfrey?
That's a good question. I'm going to take a look around and see if the efforts were most recently focused, and start there.
Right. I'll do a perimeter check, make sure everything's nice and locked down.
Yeah, absolutely. I would appreciate the cover.
No worries.
Okay.
Hey, you got any extra mags for handguns?
No, I do not keep handguns on me.
No, you have whatever equipment you want at this point.
Right. He only ever carries one with his handgun because he's kind of... He doesn't use a gun a lot, but he figures he might need to this time.
Yeah, the most that Godfrey brought with him really was, for this time, he brought like a silenced SMG and a combat knife.
Okay. Nice. Make me a perception and security check, dude. Reese?
Reese doing it?
Yep.
So security, I don't think I have any points in security.
I have points in security.
Okay, make me a perception and security check.
Cool.
I'll just make my perception, investigation, and alertness, rather.
Just roll basic perception, just see if you spot, because it's security. You would need to know what you're looking for. It's not a question of what you see. The stuff is out there. It's lying there right in front of you. The point is, do you know what you're looking at?
9882.
3 7s and a 2.
Okay. Straight up perception roll. You see some cases that don't look like they belong to like coolers and stuff. Godfrey, there's 3 weapons cases sitting over there, inside of which are boxes with pistol ammunition and 9mm and a couple of spare pistols.
Oh, hey.
Godfrey takes one, and he takes a couple clips.
Yep. You're like, okay, oh, here we go. There's also perimeter security looks to be set up. You can see wires that run out into the sand between some of the buildings that are obviously going to cameras, but you don't see anywhere in the camp where they may have... Well, you can see where they were heading to, but there's nothing there for them to be linked to. Like, whatever monitors, whatever they were watching is gone.
Okay. So... we're going to switch jobs. I'm going to set up a security perimeter because I know exactly how to do so, and you are going to start looking around for something.
Gotcha.
Whatever they're looking for, I have no idea, but you're going to try and find it. Look for anything that looks, and he takes out like a piece of paper, and draws the hieroglyph for Cursed King that he found in the old research notes. Look for anything that looks like this, or...
You're also looking for a cartouche,
Egypt,
which
so
is an Egyptian
Arabic.
hieroglyph. Yeah, there's nothing Arabic. There's nothing Arabic. This is 3,000 years before or 2,000 years before the birth of Christ. This is hieroglyphs. This is ancient Egypt.
No, because I was going to say research notes.
Oh, research notes? Everything seems to be in English.
Okay, so yeah, then look for anything pertaining to the Cursed King, of course.
Yep.
Everything
in
on
hieroglyphs,
the...
You're looking for this specific set, and he, draws like a few.
Yeah, the things... well, the laptop is right there, and there are some cartouches, which are hieroglyphs surrounded by circles, like ovals.
Yeah.
And
I was
those...
going to say, we got the same debriefing.
Yeah,
but don't
those
worry about it.
denote names. Those denote names of people. An Egyptian cartouche is a bunch of symbols and are surrounded by a line or a circle that denotes someone's name.
So I'm just on the hunt for one of these.
Yeah, look for these. I'm going to go set up a perimeter.
Can do.
Good. So Godfrey follows the wires.
You find
towards-
infrared. You find infrared and night vision cameras set up at key locations. Someone did a pretty good job of setting up security here.
They just didn't finish.
No, they did. It looks like this place was up and running. There was power, there's a generator and everything. It's just whatever those things were linked to in the center is now gone. There was something there. It doesn't take a genius or a high perception check to tell that there was some sort of desk there. It's gone.
So all of the security information that was on that thing is now gone.
Bingo.
Great.
Doesn't take a genius to figure that part out. So that's not a roll. You know enough to know that they obviously took whatever monitors or screens they were watching and whatever recording equipment was there.
Right. So.
But they left the
Godfrey-
wires and they left the cameras in place.
Okay. So then, yeah, Godfrey's gonna basically take the laptop and set it up to the wiring.
Doesn't
so this
take-
way he has some
No
kind of
problem.
security setup.
I want you to make a roll, not to successfully do it, but whatever your roll, like whatever your highest success is going to be the difficulty for anyone to sneak up on you.
Okay. Cool. So just 1d10.
No, roll a d10 for each point you have in intelligence and security.
Okay. So that's 2 and 2, so 4.
Yeah, so you can roll 4 dice, and whatever
And
the
the
highest
highest?
number you get.
A 9.
Okay, you have a very high security camp right now. You have you make a lot of adjustments because they did make quite a few mistakes. They left a lot of dead space. As you're searching, though, considering how high you rolled and how much you're going to look around, you do get the impression that they did not get snuck up on. There's no footprints coming in. There's no drag marks. There are a few spots on the walls that are obviously chips from recent bullet rounds because how pale the rock is. It hasn't had a chance to be weathered. There was a firefight here, but there are no shell casings. There are no drag marks, there are no footprints, and there are no blood pools on the ground. Now, considering it's sand, the blood pools wouldn't have lasted long. But the biggest thing is, if
Also
this happened
considering
with
how hot it is outside.
yeah, if this happened with, well, it would stink. That's for sure if there was blood.
Yep.
So you're not a fool. Whatever came did not come on foot. You rolled pretty high. It's pretty obvious that whatever got to them didn't walk into this camp and did not walk back out. If they did, then they are godlike in their mastery of stealth because you know what you're doing and you could not have done that good a job. You would have left some trace.
So is there any places where there might be disturbances in the sand, like from a chopper, or like, you know, like a lot of wind type of deal?
You'd have to leave the area to some spot where it was big enough to be open. But again, if they landed a chopper, let's say 200 yards away and walked in, they would have left some evidence.
They would have left footprints, right?
Yeah. There's no space right where the camp is to have landed a chopper. That's for certain. There's all these pillars and obelisks all around, or old walls. They're set up right in the key. It's like Osgiliath from Lord of the Rings.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just give me a moment here. I'm going to cut the video because we're at the 45-minute mark.
Cool.
Okay, we should be back now. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you've looked around. You've got the impression that whatever came in and attacked this place, and there definitely was an attack. As you move around, you see evidence of chips from bullets. There's no shell casings. There's no bodies, and considering how hot it is, there's no smell of anything organic baking in the sun. So whatever was taken away. And whatever it was did not walk in and did not walk out. Or if they did it 10 times better than you could, and you're one of the best.
This is concerning.
Definitely concerns you. Reese, as you are wandering around the place, you're struck by the ancientness of it. You're talking about a place that's easily 4,000 years old and still has color in some of the hieroglyphs and paintings. It's amazing. There's stuff painted on the walls and drawn. There's imagery. Make an investigation roll. Go with like intelligence and investigation, whichever. Intelligence, perception, or wit, whichever one's higher.
Okay, my perception's highest. It's 4.
Okay,
Intelligence.
so you're just waiting for something to catch your eye, and you're using obviously investigation to figure out which way best to go.
Okay, so altogether, I had 4 rolls, but I got 2 10s, so I just got 4 successes.
Okay, the difficulty to notice anything is 6.
Yeah, I figured as much, so I just kind of assumed. I
Right,
got 7,
and
8, and then 2 10s, which led to 7 6.
Okay, wow. So you got 6 successes. Without a doubt, you figure out that
10s alone count as successes?
They do. They count as successes and allow you to roll a further die.
I thought they were just like 4 successes, so
Nope.
I got 6
They
successes.
count and then you roll again. Think of it like a bonus. So, you have 6 successes. You walk out, and immediately out of the corner of a little thing, you catch like a tenth of a hieroglyph that's been chipped off with a symbol that you know matches something. I mean, nobody would have noticed that easily. Even weeks of brushing away. I mean, it's only part of something, and that leads you, as you're looking, to notice that as the sun's going down, it's peering through a little hole between 2 pillars that seems oddly placed, and the sunbeam goes up against the wall in a circle about the size of a dinner plate. And you go over to the wall and you realize, okay, it's not pointing at anything interesting, but over here is something more interesting, and it matches some of the hieroglyphs that you were shown. You don't know what any of them mean. You weren't given any translations. You were just told to find them. And from where you stand up against that one, and you look back and you realize you're looking straight down an avenue of pillars that leads to sand, but that doesn't make any sense, because why would that be leading to nothing? And so you're walking down. So you know you have a definite direction to search in. There's something out there in the sand, probably. And you realize that... Yeah, and you realize that, yeah, they could have looked for this for an awfully long time without ground-penetrating radar and stuff like that. You're a perceptive kind of guy, man. You notice things. You don't need any high-tech equipment. Sometimes you just need to go out, get your hands dirty, and look.
I just had me a nice fucking glimpse. Something caught my eye. I thought, this is fishy.
See, I told you. All they needed to do was send us. The only thing that they need is us. We're going to come in, we're going to find it, we're going to fix it.
I mean, I don't know what we're looking for, and I don't know
Sure
what's
you do. All you got to do is think about it. Think about it a bit. I bet you'll figure it out, Chief. And kind of. You're still, he's still stroking your ego, but the temptation to try and figure this out is really big.
Well, I do want to know what's going on. Hey, Gottfried. I kind of
Yeah.
pick in on my mic. Yeah, I might have found something. What are you doing? I can figure it out on my own, but you might want to come see it.
That German putz. We'll figure it out. We got it.
I'm looking at the security footage, and there's, or not footage, but I have camera set up. I have a nice perimeter. There's the thing that troubles me greatly is that there's no footprints anywhere. Also, being a perceptive soul as you are, I'm sure you didn't smell anything putrid, yeah? It's very hot out here, yeah? There should be bodies, yeah?
You think so?
There's no bodies, yeah? This concerns me, especially granted that there's no footprints.
Well, I'll let you worry about that. Sounds like you're busy. I'm gonna try and figure out these.
How about we switch spots?
You wanna switch? I thought your thing was stealth and security. That was your thing in the first place. Why do we keep switching, Godfrey?
Because now that I have all this set up, I can actually go out and look for things quietly.
Make me a self-control roll, Caboose.
Oh, okay.
Real simple.
Anything above a 1?
No, anything above a 3 this time.
Okay, I've only succeeded once then.
Okay, no problem.
Rolls.
He's making sense. It's okay. He's making sense.
All right. Well,
I know you
let's,
kind of want to follow up on this lead and all that, but at the same time, somebody needs to hold down the fort, right? While this guy goes out. Plus, he's not an asshole. I mean, he does know what he's talking about, and he is awfully good at sneaking around. So if he can extend the perimeter and security, yeah, that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that.
all right, Gottfried. We'll come over.
Good.
But you're gonna be taking it back here.
Why? What do you mean?
There's a lot of sand down here. I mean, Gottfried.
Okay. I'll stay here until you get down there, and just give me directions. I'll find my way.
He's only 100 yards over there. It's more a matter of getting through the right, getting in between all these pillars and stuff that you can't just easily see him over there. But you see him within a second. He just steps out from behind a pillar and, oh, there he is.
Okay,
Yep.
so then, they switch spots. And Godfrey just sees sand.
Yeah, you go to where he pointed it out, and you stand along this, what looked like a large avenue of pillars. Now the pillars have all been knocked down. There's just stumps of them poking out of the sand.
Right.
At the end of this avenue is just sand.
Does that make that makes no sense?
So either something was there and is gone, or something is buried under the sand.
Time to get the shovel.
Okay. Walking down to the end with a shovel, you notice that you're walking through large paving stones. They're a good 2-3 feet across. Then they're obviously, squared off boulders that have been set into there. And obviously a team was blowing the sand away or sweeping it away as they went. There are obvious marks of brooms and, sweeping, and the sand seems to have been piled on either side, and the wind hasn't blown it back on yet. Mm-hmm. And then at one point it just stops, and it's just sand, about 6 inches deep. And you start with your shovel and clank. Okay, 6 inches down, there's stone. Clank, 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 thunk. And then at one point you put your shovel in, and it just goes down.
Aha. So Godfrey keeps pursuing where the sand goes down.
It doesn't take you long. The sand is heavy, but it's dry and fairly easy to just pile up on either side. And you you dig down the sand in an area a slab, let's say about 8 feet by 4 feet, that's sunk
Okay.
a good 6 inches below the level of the path. And it's a flat, perfectly flat slab, 8 feet by 4 feet. It takes you a little while to figure out the dimensions of it. Sweeping it off, there seems to be some engraving, but it will take you a while to uncover it. I'll let you know when you can see something that you can actually perceive.
Okay.
Reese, you're back at camp. What is it you're doing? You're sitting there watching. So what you're sitting there watching Gottfried fart around on this path for a while on the cameras. But other than that, you can do whatever you like.
I see him farting around. I see him digging. I'm still really curious. He said there's no footprints. There was no nothing, but we found weapons here.
Yeah, you found some cases that had weapons inside of it. In other cases, you found food, coolers, obviously, camp stove. This was a well-equipped camp, and it obviously was security conscious.
So that being in mind, can I look around for like discarded casings, shells, anything like that?
Yeah, and you don't find any.
I didn't think so. And I bet if we were to look at the inventory report for the arms sent with the company here, we wouldn't find a single magazine missing.
Go ahead and take a look. Go ahead and take a look. That occurs to you. You pull up. You pull up. You pull up whatever information you can. You send a query back to base for what the manifest to be sent out here was, and yes, there are weapons missing. There are weapons and ammunition missing. There are 3 cases which included submachine guns and a couple of assault rifles and about 500 rounds for each, and they are gone. The only thing that's left were the 2 pistols you found and 9mm ammunition for MP5s and for the pistols.
Right, so I get back on the horn and I go, hey, Gottfried.
Yeah.
You didn't know that there were 2 other cases sent here, hey? Weapons cases, about 500 cartridges each, submachine guns, assault rifles.
This is disturbing.
Yeah, they're nowhere to be found. I did a sweep and there's no discarded casings. Don't even smell any gunpowder.
Send a report back to base and let them know.
Right away. So Reese hops off and he starts typing up back to Mr. White.
A perimeter alarm goes off.
Oh, fuck me. I'm looking on the cameras.
good.
Ding, 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 ding. Looking on the cameras, you see all you catch as you turn your head towards the cameras is a shadow. Just a shadow passing behind a wall. There was something in view of the camera and it went behind a wall.
Where in location to us?
Northeast, 200 yards out to the edge of the perimeter.
Gottfried. Gottfried. Look northeast for a sec, see if you can get a line of sight for me. I just saw something.
Yeah. So, perception and awareness?
Yes,
What am
absolutely.
I doing? Perception, awareness.
Perception
Okay, so
alertness.
4.
Another perimeter
Difficulty
alarm
1.
goes off 180 degrees opposite from it.
Okay.
Directly behind.
Still, so do I see
You
anything?
look at the screens, and this time you see a blurry, fast-moving shape. Not human. Zip across the field of the camera. The sun is starting to go down. It's starting to get dark. In this part of the world, that happens fast. So dusk is on it, and the nights are not long, or the sunsets are not long.
Gottfried.
6595.
You don't see anything. You don't have a clear line of sight to that area anyway. It's too far away. You're on the ground, and there's walls and bricks and pillars and piles of sand in the way.
Right. Regroup with
No,
me.
for my perception alertness roll.
That's what I mean. You see nothing.
Oh wow.
On my side of the perimeter?
That's right. You see nothing.
Okay.
You look out. He tells you to look out that way. You look. First of all, you don't have a clear line of sight to wherever that happened. Now you're moving in that direction, and you will obviously make another roll at one point.
Right.
Something in the direction though that he told you to go, Gottfried. At this point, you hear something scuffling, like it slipped on sand, and like you can pinpoint it by hearing at least. It's over there on the other side of that pile of sand that they had dug up when they cleared out a corridor. And it's over there. That's all you know for sure.
Reese says something here.
Yeah, there's a few summons here, Godfrey. Get your weapons out.
Reese, what are you doing right now?
Silenced SMG.
Yeah, what are you doing right now, Reese?
I'm surveying. I'm basically looking over the cameras.
Okay, you're looking over the cameras. Again, you see something big and not human-like, especially in the way it moves. Zip across the camera. It's still very blurry because it's moving almost too fast for the camera to track.
Yeah. All right. So Gottfried, we've either got one really fast thing or a few really fast things. Either way, keep on your guard.
So far, considering the distance, you've got two. So far, considering there's one behind you and one like in the direction you first pointed.
Right. So seems we've got two. I'm gonna pursue one. Gottfried, you pursue the other. We'll try to meet up in the middle of the camp.
Yeah. So Gottfried has his submachine gun out.
Okay. You're heading over this sand dune? Or this sand pile?
Yeah, as quietly as I possibly can.
Okay.
I've just got my pistol and knuckle duster in tactical, like, hand style.
Make a dexterity and stealth roll.
Okay, so dex is... Stealth is... Woo! I'm rolling 6 dice.
Reese, as you're moving out towards the south, you hear heavy, like, breathing sounds coming from about 50 yards in front of you. You just barely picked them up because the wind swung around to your face and brought you the sound. Also brought you a smell, like, like, I don't know, like the gym after a really long workout day with 50 guys. Like, it stinks of sweat and testosterone, something down there.
What's the difficulty, John?
Your difficulty is 6.
Okay, so in that case I got 4 successes.
Okay, you're moving so quietly your own mother wouldn't hear you. You come around very slowly and very carefully. You come around and you see a shadow, like about 50 feet in front of you is the entryway to some sort of temple, some sort of ancient building. And it's deeply in shadow now that the sun's going down and there's no light at all coming from it. The sun's behind it, so it's completely in darkness. But you do see a deeper shadow. Something's in there and it's moving a little bit. You just barely pick up the movement. And hang on a second. The wind shifts around again through the corridor, and you pick up that smell as well. It smells like a zoo. It smells like, like the monkey cage at a zoo or something that hasn't been cleaned in a day or two, and your allergies are acting up.
Oh Christ!
My allergies are acting up?
Yeah, like pet hair.
Gottfried sneezes when he damn well wants to.
Yeah. But I mean, you can feel the tickle in your nose. You literally feel the tickle in your nose. Damn pet hair.
Okay.
All right.
Reese, as you make your way down there, you catch the sight of something four-legged and big. I mean, at least 7 feet long, 5 feet high at the shoulder, in the dimness, just crossing over the path in front of you between, let's say, one pillar and the other. It's in the shadow. You don't know what it is, but it's big.
I guess then I'm gonna just, like, book it toward it.
Okay, you head towards where you last saw it. You get there and turn the corner, and obviously there's nothing there. You are also not very quiet. It can hear you coming a mile away. Gottfried, you just hear Reese in the background going boop, 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 across the sand and across the thing to a spot, like way behind you though. You just know he's moving because you're trained to be aware of what's going on.
So
Gottfried, what are you doing?
Slowly and stealthily pursuing this thing.
Okay, so you're trying to get around at an angle towards it. It seems to fade back into the shadows. Whatever it is unerringly quiet.
Okay.
And it's big. Again, it's a good... From the shadow you saw, it's big. It's 7 feet across, a good 5 feet high. 7 feet long, good 5 feet high at the shoulder, and bulky.
Okay.
And it stank. Not rotten food. It smelled like an animal. It smelled like an unwashed, sweaty animal.
I think I have an idea of what it might be. Can I make a roll to try and like use occult and intelligence to figure out what it is, or like occult and wit?
Sure, you can roll wits and occult to just make a leap of mental agility.
So that's a 4. 6, 5, 2, 8.
I mean, you can try to guess what it is, but without seeing it, you wouldn't feel confident in knowing.
It might be a hellhound. That's my guess.
Literally, you get a thing in your head going, "Dummy, those don't exist."
Fine. Shit. I gave us a go. So yeah, he doesn't want to follow it into the shadow.
Okay.
Because that would be dumb.
You at this point, from inside of the shadows, you hear there's something sniffing at a wall loudly.
So say that last part one more time.
Something seems to be sniffing and snuffling at some point in that room or in that area, in that darkness. You can hear it. It maybe you don't know why it decided to make noise at this point, but it did. Reese. You catch it's getting dark fast now. Yeah, the sun goes down, like it plunges beneath the horizon in this part of the world, out in the desert, and it's in the corner of your eye. You catch that same shadow. You know it probably went that way. It's getting dark, and so tracking it in the sand will be difficult, but you do see something out there, and it seems to be... Make me a wits and... Maybe a wits roll, basically.
Okay, so just 2.
Yep.
I got a 10.
You know what? Wits and brawl.
So
Wits and brawl.
Okay. So
because this is important.
Roll that?
No, add a number of dice for your brawl.
Okay, so I just got 3 successes there, and then my brawl is 4, so I'll roll 4 more.
Okay, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Okay. It's trying to circle around you. It's pretty easy to tell now that it's trying to circle around and get behind you. It's leading you around. You're a fighter. You're a fighter. You know when you're being rope-a-doped. Yeah. Whatever this is, it's playing rope-a-dope.
I've got my trench knife, ice pick underneath my pistol, and I just kind of like open my arms wide chest, like, what are you gonna do something, or are we just gonna play games here?
As soon as you open your arms and are not pointing a gun in its direction, a full-grown male lion makes a 35-foot leap from the shadows and pounces on you.
Ooh, a lion.
Yeah.
All right.
And it literally roars and lands paws first on your chest.
Let's do this.
As soon as you are not appearing like a threat and appearing more like a target. Just a second here.
Yeah, I did the whole puffed out chest thing.
Okay, it slams into you and tries to knock you to the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's your stamina?
My stamina, I believe, is 3.
You have 3 stamina, and your brawl is 5?
Stam 3.
Okay,
brawl
so...
4, melee 5.
Right.
Strength 4 as well.
Strength of 4. Okay. You just, and I mean just, at the edge of your capacity, because you fought people, but this is 500 pounds of full-grown male lion we're talking about. You manage to remember enough judo to twist your body, and as its paws hit you, it slides sideways across your chest, and it rips its claws down to the bone across your pecs, and then it slides about 10 feet past you in the sand and turns like it's going to pounce again, and it's your go.
All right, I've got my knife up and across my body.
Yeah.
And I'm basically gonna wait for it to pounce. And this is actually something I've had to do. John, did I tell you about the time I was assaulted by a cougar?
Oh, wow, nice.
I've been attacked by a mountain lion, and what I had to do, I didn't have a knife, but if I had a knife, what I did was basically what you're supposed to do if you don't have a knife, which is lock my fist underneath its jaw.
Yeah.
And I was punching it in the face while my wolf dog just bit at its ankles, and it left us alone.
Okay.
It tore my arm up a bit.
Imagine
So
something
I'm gonna
about
lock
3
my
times.
knife
Yeah. Imagine about
under
3
its jaw.
times. Imagine about something about 3 times the size of a mountain lion.
Yeah.
This thing's big. And triple
I'm
its
just
weight.
gonna do my best.
Okay. And
I'm just considered a prepared action.
you have
waiting for it
one.
to
You only took
pounce.
1 point of damage. Like, as much as the cuts are stinging and nasty, they're not impeding you in any way. Your health is at like bruised.
Oh wait, I have 2 actions too.
You do. You have 2 actions, plus you have supernatural toughness and supernatural strength, which is why those claws didn't hurt you as bad as you would think. Your toughness soaked an awful lot of it.
So I guess the first thing I'll do.
Just a second.
I'll try to-
Just a second.
Oh, yeah.
Gottfried, you hear the roar of what is unmistakably a lion coming from behind you, and you hear, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Oh fuck.
At which point, you quite obviously hear the sound of something rushing at you very quickly from the darkness in front of you. And obviously, what is painfully obviously from close up, another full-grown male lion leaps right over your head in the darkness, because it had no fucking idea where you were, and lands behind you. And it turns and locks eyes with you.
Okay. Gottfried's gonna try and shoot it.
Okay, just a second. I'm gonna go back to Reese. I just want to set this up. Okay, Reese. It's not stupid. It sees that you've got the knife up and the gun, and now it's like moving cat-like around you, trying to look for an opening to jump you.
I mean,
And every time it moves, it's moving a little bit closer.
Animals.
Yeah, it's moving
He's
closer all
probably
the
doing
time.
the sweeping.
Yes, very much. He's sweeping back and forth, and he's always moving closer.
So with one action, I guess I'll try to pop a shot off at its head, and then with the next action, I'm gonna do something crazy that I'll describe to you, because it's one of those things where you're like, if you have something you want to describe to me, do it.
Yep, absolutely. Okay,
the first
so
thing I do-
you go to shoot at it. Roll
I'm gonna take a shot.
roll perception and firearms.
Okay. So that's 6 rolls altogether. So I'll roll all 3.
And it's a DC 6 to hit something with a pistol. So
Okay. 1 success, 2 successes, 4 successes.
you get 4 successes on a 6. Okay, just a sec.
Specifically 6, 7, 8, 6.
6, 7, 8, 6. Okay.
And then I had 2 that were just below. I didn't even really record the numbers in my head.
Okay. You're not 100% sure if you hit it. It moved fast. When you pointed the gun at it, it was already moving. When you pulled the trigger, it had almost completely gotten out of the way, and in the darkness you can't tell, but the shot may have grazed it.
Okay. Do I know where it is now that I've
Yeah.
fired?
It's
'Cause I was
3 feet. It's literally 3 feet in front of you. It just dodged. As you brought the gun forward, it was already moving, and as you pulled the trigger, it had leapt to the left.
So it came a little bit closer into the left. Good.
Yeah.
I'm literally now, as it's just settling in after it's dodged my gunshot, John, I'm pouncing on the lion.
Okay, you're gonna try and grapple
So
the
I
lion.
make my shot, I see it jump, and then I just leap through the air with my knife, ice pick, and I'm gonna get on this motherfucking lion.
Okay, you try to leap on its back. You're going to make me a dexterity and brawl.
All right, that's okay. That's a 10 already, so I'll re-roll it. That's a 5 re-rolled. That's another 10, so I'll re-roll it.
Oh my god.
5 re-rolled.
Okay, so 2 successes.
That's a 1.
That's
so it takes
1 success.
away. It's another 10, so I'll re-roll it.
It's 2.
And it's a 6.
3.
That's a 3. And that last one was a 8.
4 successes. Okay. Lion.
I don't even know if that was all the rolls I need to do, but I feel like...
2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 1 die per dot, so...
Right, I think I made 7 rolls. Oh, but I got two 10s, so I should make 2 more rolls.
Yeah.
That's a 2, that's a 6.
Okay, so you got 4 successes. Okay, you just miss. Literally, the lion... Oh, this is a lion. It's agile. It's very, very agile, and it's not interested in getting into a scrap with you. You just
Wait,
miss
does
him
my
as...
supernatural speed give me a 1?
No, it gives you 1 extra action.
Oh, okay, right.
It's the reason why you got the second action.
The reason I got to jump, I forgot.
Yeah. Gottfried, it is your turn. The lion has landed behind you, and it's locked eyes on you, and it's ready to pounce. It's not hard to tell.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to shoot it with my submachine gun.
Okay, you turn and you open fire with a burst from a submachine gun. Fire me a perception and firearms.
Okay, so that's 7 dice, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and the difficulty to
7
hit anything is a 6.
Okay. Fucking froze, hold on. 9, 2, 10, 5, 6, 8, 6.
So how many above 6 is that?
10. 1. 2, 3, 4, and then I got a 10.
So you reroll the 10 counts, and then you reroll the 10.
A 9.
That counts as well. So how many is that? 6?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Not only do you hit the lion, but as it's trying to dodge, you catch it with a bullet on the weight. The leg has got the weight on the foot, and it actually falls over on its back. You've obviously crippled it pretty severely with a burst, and its action is literally to just leap off into the shadows growling. There's a blood trail, but you can hear it just running into the desert. It's probably fatally wounded, but like all animals, it's not just going to drop dead.
Yeah,
it's not hard to tell that you caught it with a good 4 full rounds right in the front. Basically, it didn't just fail its roll; it botched it. It got less than 1 success. It literally got less than it got -1 successes.
Wow.
Yeah, I messed up that roll really bad. Reese, you are next. Actually, the lion is next. You try to leap on the lion. It misses. The lion reaches out just to try and swipe the gun out of your hand, which you'll worry about whether or not that makes any sense later. Right now you're just trying to stay alive. It misses completely. Make me a wits and alertness roll.
Wits and alertness?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5, I believe, because I've got 3 alert and 2 wits.
Yeah, difficulty is 6.
9, 8, 7, 2.
There's something above you. You know it. You're being watched. You're fighting the lion. Your focus is on the lion, but you know you're being watched from above. Right now, you're focused on the lion. It just tried to swipe you with a paw the size of your head.
My focus is on the lion,
but you know you're being watched.
Something's above me.
Yeah, you know something's up there.
I keep my eyes on the lion.
Yeah.
I keep my knife up, but I raise the pistol and go bam, 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 up into the air.
Okay, you said you have 2 actions. You literally have 2 actions. So you raise the pistol and you fire a couple of shots up into the air, and okay, make a wits and firearm, basically. Just see if you can react fast enough. If you're...
Okay.
You know.
That's like 4. So.
Yeah.
6, 3, 8. That one bounced. 2.
6, 3, 8, and 2. You fire up into the air a couple of times, and you don't see anything, and you certainly don't know if you hit anything, but you fired a couple of times up in the air.
That's fine.
Obviously, Gottfried, you hear pistol shots. You also, at the corner of your hearing, Reese heard a burst of gunfire and the sound of a howling animal. So you know that Gottfried is otherwise occupied. Gottfried, you hear pistol shots coming from a couple of 100 yards that way.
Okay. I move into the venue to see if I can assess quietly.
Okay. You heard a couple of pistol shots, and from the flash, a couple of them went in the air. You know that. You know the difference in sound. Make a wits and alertness check for me, or a perception and alertness check for me. Wits, because you have to be quick. You have to be quick on this.
Okay. So, wits and alertness is 5.
Yeah. So just roll at your difficulty 6. Let me know anything that gets above a 6. Or a 6 or better.
9, 6, 10, 2.
Okay, so re-roll the 10. So re-roll the 10. So you have 3 successes so far.
And a 1, so it canceled itself out.
Okay, so you have 2 successes. You get the impression that there's something up there in the air. Not like a helicopter. That would be obvious. That would make a lot of noise. Something's up there, and it's you just get the tickle in your neck. You're being watched.
Am I personally being watched, or is it...
You get the feeling that you are with 2 successes, I can't give you too much more information. You just get the sneaking hair raising on your neck. Something up there is watching you.
Okay. I am going to very slowly move my head upwards to see if I could actually, get a better look at it. And hopefully
Darkness.
have it not see me.
The sky is dark. You do not have animals' perception to see in the darkness, so at the moment you see darkness up there. You just get the impression that you get that hair on the back of your neck thing that says, I'm being watched.
Okay. Gottfried as well is going to try and fire a few rounds off into the air.
Okay, so you just blind fire the best you can and go for it. You fire a burst from your submachine gun into the air. I'm not going to make you roll. You don't hit anything, but I do want you to make a wits and alertness roll for me again with a difficulty of 5.
So that's 5 die I'm rolling now. Oh god, 8, 4, 8, 10, 6.
Okay, so you got 4 successes. Reroll the 10.
And a 4.
4. So 4 successes. In the muzzle flashes that light up the sky, you're not sure if you're crazy, but you thought you saw a guy with wings fly by. And he might have been, golden color. And he might have been big, like 9 feet tall big. But again, you caught it for a split second in the muzzle flashes, so, make of it what you will.
Okay.
Reese, you're fighting a lion. Mm-hmm. You fired a couple of shots in the air, and the lion takes the opportunity to lunge at your legs.
Okay, I've still got my knife and everything, so...
Mm-hmm. You're still armed. You're still armed. You're still perfectly capable of doing this. It catches you around the legs with its paws and yanks your feet out from under you, knocks you on the ground.
Okay.
That's his action. It just reaches out, knocks your feet out from under you, and is ready to leap on you. Your action.
Okay, my action. So my action is to literally just fire off what remains magazine at it, and then if I can get to my feet this turn, sure.
You have 2 actions. You have 2 actions. You can shoot and you can move. Remember, you have one. You have 2 actions where most people have 1.
Yes, then I will shoot and I will fucking get up out of the fucking place where he could pounce on me. So dexterity firearms.
Okay, so
or...
yeah, you're firing dexterity firearms as you hit the ground to shoot. Because you're being knocked down and you're not in the best position, your difficulty goes up to 7.
Okay, so...
You're firing on the fall kind of thing, and then you're going to take your second action to get back to your feet.
8, 2, 9, 7, 9.
Okay. Yeah, you hit the lion with a bullet. You're pretty sure that one hit it. You hear it howl, and it just takes off. It wasn't interested in picking a fight with something that was going to shoot it. It's still just a lion. And whatever that feeling of being watched seems to be gone. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'm going to take a second right here, and I'm going to pause the video because we are at 45 minutes. Okay, and I'm sure that means we are back by now. Okay, so you've driven off the lions. The scratches in your chest have completely healed and have not left a scar.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you get...
Freed, how are you doing?
Good. Nothing happened. I was just enemy shooting at the lion and fatally wounding it, but...
Yeah, there's a blood trail off into the desert if you look by flashlight, but, I mean, you're pretty sure you killed that thing.
No problem.
Yeah, and yours, it was just a lion. You don't know why it attacked your camp or why it attacked you. Lions don't generally attack people just because.
Yeah, no, they're...
But you don't know enough, I mean, aside from nature documentaries, you don't know enough about the African lion to really tell. You know what all the rest of us know from maybe having watched Netflix.
There was a hallway that was very dark. I'm going to go back to that hallway. You stay here for a couple minutes. Just hold down the fort.
There's all kinds of light available if you just... There's all kinds of light available if you just want to turn them on at this point.
Yeah, we're going to turn on all of these spotlights.
So you light the camp up. The place where the lion was is just a room. It's not like a particularly extra dark room. The sun happened to be going down, and it was in the shadow of the sun, so you couldn't see into it.
Right.
But once you go in there, it's just a room like most of the others. It's got hieroglyphs all over the walls.
Is there anything of note that's interesting in here?
You have lots of time now to look, so I won't make you bother rolling. You definitely find a portion of the cartouche in a chipped wall that matches the one on the computer.
Okay.
At least it matches that part. I mean, so far it's the best clue you've found. And in the room is the statue of what could be a pharaoh. I mean, what do you know about Egyptology? That kind of thing. But he's wearing the big head thing. He's got the long fake beard. He's got the two with the crook and the thing in his hand. So, could be. There's a statue of what could be a pharaoh in there.
This looks promising.
Yeah, let's have a look at that there, Godfrey, shall we?
Yeah, let's. So they continue to analyze further?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you guys keep working into the night. You do not get the impression that there's anything out there watching you anymore. Your companions don't seem to be involved much. They're quite content to let you do your thing. They've tried to tempt you and to push you around a little bit, and you've shown your resolve, and so they are backing off and letting you work your own magic. So far you've brushing off that stone you found that was sunk. Going back to that, you find that it is marked with a lot of hieroglyphs that you don't recognize, not that you recognize any of them in particular, but there are 3 or 4 different symbols and cartouches that match some of the things that you've been given. So obviously the team that was here was on the right path when they were attacked. It matches up to stuff on the laptop.
Okay. Cool. So, Gottfried keeps analyzing the sunken stone.
It's a fairly heavy-looking, solid piece of stone that seems to have been laid in a depression in what was like a road, and or a pathway or a hallway. I don't know. It's hard to tell because the pillars have all been knocked down and there's only stumps left of them. We don't know if this thing ever had a roof or if it was an avenue. Make me.
Can I?
Make a roll for me. Make an intelligence and investigation roll.
Okay, so it's 5 dice I'm rolling here. What's the difficulty?
5. It's not that big a
Okay.
deal. Yeah. If you have lots of time to look, and so your difficulty's reduced. You're not just trying to make an assumption on the fly.
3, 5, 10, 5, 3. So reroll
5, 10, 5. You got 3. Reroll the 10.
5.
Another 5, 4. This stone doesn't belong here. It's pretty obvious. It's not the same type. It's not the same type of stone as all the rest.
Godfrey looks at the side of the stone, right? Trying
Yeah.
to see if maybe this thing's a sarcophagus.
No, it's a stone. It's just a big slab of stone, but it's not the same type of stone as the one that the road and all the other things are made of. Those are all made out of a pale sandstone. This thing looks like it could be made out of like slate or shale or some sort of obsidian. I don't know what you know about geology, but it doesn't belong. It does not belong.
This is not supposed to be here.
Or it was deliberately put here to look different. There's as many different reasons why the stone is different as there are ideas you can come up with, as far
Stars
as
in
you
the
know.
sky.
Yeah, pretty much. But the stone does not match any of the others in this area. This entire place is built out of pale sandstone. This thing
Right.
is not.
So Godfrey takes a picture of it on his phone. Kind of just leaves a little like text blurb as to what it is, where he found it.
Mhm.
Blah blah blah. Knows that it shouldn't be here, obviously, and he goes over and takes any pictures of matching cartouches that follow along with the hieroglyphs of the cursed cave. So like the ones over by the pharaoh statue and stuff like that. And he
Okay.
sends them all to Mr. White.
Perfect.
A nice all-inclusive report.
In
And
the
he
morning,
also tells them that they fought off 2 lions and had a weird feeling of being watched.
and
Also, what he saw in the muzzle flashes.
when you send like, first you send the pictures and everything and you don't get an answer, you figure you got one in the morning. When you send we were attacked by lions in the night, immediately it says, was there anybody flying around? Like before you finish typing, I'm just going full report. And so you send a full report, including the particularly golden guy, whatever, and they said, okay, a team is on its way, they'll be there in the morning.
They here?
In the morning, like literally as the sun is coming up, you see 4 heavily armed Humvees coming down the road towards you, and like
The cavalry's here.
10. You recognize them immediately, Gottfried, as private like security company mercenaries, like Blackstone guys.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And
By far
they
mercenary.
they literally surround the entire place. They set up a 10-man perimeter. They've got miniguns on top of these things. This is in Egypt. I don't know how they got permission, but that's not your business. And yeah, they're like, okay, we are here to provide a 100% security for you guys while you continue working.
Good. I would like this very much.
They seem incredibly impressed with the security setup you've already got. And they said the only reason that you very quickly, these guys like to talk, obviously. They're just soldiers. They're just dudes. And you get the impression that they've been to a few of the places where there were incidents. And the only reason that whatever attacked got by security was because it flew in, but not with helicopters. It just, something flew in and grabbed people.
Yeah, so the exact situation that we saw was my associate here found that he found the shipping manifest that belongs to this site, and he found that there was 2 cases missing. The only thing that was left in this case was 9mm ammo that belongs to an MP5, and a few clips of 9mm ammo goes to some generic pistol, probably a 1911, and 2 spare pistols. No, that was it.
That explains it.
There
There
was
were
no tracks, none whatsoever. There's no bodies. It's hot, so there's no scent of bodies ever being there. There's no tracks of it being dragged out. So whatever it was that attacked them had to fly in, but there was no sound disturbances anywhere where a chopper might land. And even still, there would be footprints if a chopper came in. So this disturbs me.
Yeah, the guy pulls up a laptop and pulls up a blurry image and says, "Is that what you saw?" And yeah, it's pretty close to what you saw the night before, flying around in the air. It's like, oh, so
Yeah.
him. Yeah, we've had reports of things that look like these grabbing armed and fully armored security guards off of ledges, off of balconies, snatching them out of windows, and just carrying them off into the night.
This is not disturbing.
We also have had reports in city streets and in other places in the countryside of random animal attacks wherever these things were shown. Have shown.
We were attacked by 2 African lions last night.
Yeah,
Which normally is very lazy.
especially the males.
Yeah, and these were both males.
Yeah, that's a big deal. They seem to have some sort of control over animals.
Also, I don't know if this was normal, but they were big.
No,
Very big.
no. When I said they're big, that's how big African male lions are. They really are. They're a lot
Yeah,
bigger than you
African
expect.
lions are just big, dude.
Yeah, the
They're
males are
fucking
gigantic.
huge. They're crazy.
Okay.
Scary.
Good. So, the size of them was about par for the course, but behavior was not.
No, their behavior was not, and we've had feral dog attacks, even rat attacks in city streets.
Rats?
Yeah, literally imagine a buddy of mine in Stuttgart was like taken down by 500 rats that came out of a sewer and just jumped him.
That's a hell of a way to go.
Yeah, that was not pleasant. There have been
No.
feral dog attacks in some cities where there's a lot of problem with strays. Yeah. We have a team in India. Some guy got run down by a few cows.
This is not surprising.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So we are going to help you finish off your work, and then we're going to get out of here and head back to head office. Hopefully, it won't take more than a day or two.
Yeah.
You get a ping from Mr. White, and he says, "We've analyzed the data that you sent. You're definitely on the right track, and I suggest that you find a way to remove that stone."
Good. He points at the security guard that he was talking to before.
Sir?
I need some way to remove this from that hole.
Okay. How important is what's underneath?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So no demolitions. I mean, let me think about that. Everybody, if you want, you can make yourself a roll of, I guess, intelligence, and if you have anything that you think might help, so science. If you want to just look at it as a physics problem.
Yeah, science.
Construction, if you want to look at it as an experience thing, and if you don't, you could just roll your intelligence.
So it's intelligence and science. Yep. So that's 5. What's the
Roll.
difficulty?
I'm going to say the difficulty is about a 6. Doesn't take a brainiac to figure out how to move a stone. The question is, are you the type of person who knows how to move a big stone? Because if you do, then it's easy, and if it's not, then you'll scratch your head and stare at it all day. 377. Okay. Yeah, you've got four friggin' Humvees here, and probably all kinds of chain and tow hooks and stuff. I'm pretty sure you can find a way to get through to just haul the damn thing out of there.
Why did I think of this before?
Yeah, the hardest part is going to be
you.
wedging it. The hardest part is going to be getting something in and hooking into it, but Mr. White didn't say anything about keeping the stone intact. He just said getting it out of there.
Right. Okay. So you, and you. I need all of you to hook up winches, chains, whatever we have. I need someone to actually. Let me think.
Let me make a roll here. Hang on a second.
Reese.
Reese?
Oh.
Caboose?
Pardon me? Sorry, I thought he said something in fucking German.
Is there any way that you can perhaps break the stone? Mr. White said nothing
there's
about
about
keeping the
100
stone
ways.
intact.
Of course you
We
can
just need
break
to
the
find
stone.
We just need to find a way to get this stone out of the hole, which is where the Humvees come in.
Of course you could break that stone. Sledgehammer, a couple of swings, you'll crack it right in half.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, Humvees. Got a hammer?
They got anything you want. They got pry bars. They got hammers, whatever. They're all very well equipped.
Give me a 20
In fact,
pound sledge.
the camp is very well equipped.
Beautiful. So I'll just find a 20-pound sledge.
Yeah, no problem. There's all kinds of sledgehammers. And okay, hang on a second. Make a roll for me. Make an intelligence roll for me.
Intelligence.
Intelligence and science if you have any science ability.
I think I had. No, I
you
don't
have
have
science
science.
in 2. I thought you had a science in 2.
I had investigations and I think. Hold on, it's in the chat here. My
That
character
is
sheet.
actually.
I have investigation and medicine.
Investigation
Right.
and medicine.
And
Okay.
so-
No. So just a basic intelligence roll. Actually, this isn't hard. This is like no big deal.
Okay, I got an 8 and a 3.
Oh, no problem. Okay. So what you do is you get one of the guys to hold like about a 3 or 4 foot spike, like the kind they use to drive into the ground and mark off areas, and you hammer a hole literally through the stone. Like you got your shirt off, you're swinging this hammer. You notice that it takes a good hour of solid pounding this cold spike through this stone. You barely even work up a sweat. When you do work up a sweat, fuck, you look good.
But I feel great
And
too.
you don't get tired.
That's
You feel
nice.
like after this, you feel like you go on a 10-mile run.
Well then.
Reese,
Like-
might I say, you act like a machine.
Oh no, this guy is. He's a machine. Oh my god, he's not human. You've gone through training where you had to run up and down flights of stairs carrying like 50 pounds of gear plus your rifle. You couldn't do what he just did.
Yeah, feeling a little impressed there, GSG. Don't worry about it. It's just,
He literally picked up a
hey.
sledgehammer and swung it non-stop for an hour without taking a break to have a glass of water. Nothing.
Yeah,
Nope,
and then every so
just
often
pure
he was
willpower.
like, every so often Godfrey was like, do you need to take a break for water or food?
Nope. No, and you just went.
swinging.
You got into a zone and you just kept doing it. Just boom, boom, boom,
I
boom.
got
Next thing
into
you
the
know,
rhythm.
the next thing you know, there's an 1.5-inch hole right through the stone. The stone, it turns out, is about 7 inches thick.
Oh, wow.
And these guys are military. They know how to do stuff. They hook up, they jury rig a pair of shears and a pulley up from one of the larger obelisks or one of the larger pillars that's still pretty solid, and they run a cable down over it so it's directly down into that hole. They pop a T-hook, a flexible T-hook through, so it opens up on the underside and latches to the underside of the stone. And yeah, they just hook up the winch and they pull the sucker up.
Good. Now I'm going down with the flashlight.
Yeah, it's not a very big room actually. There's not even a room under there. It's a grave.
I knew it.
It goes down about 10 feet, and at the bottom is in fact a sarcophagus. It's very easy to tell a sarcophagus. It looks like one of the old ones you've always seen. It's got a lot of gold on it, a lot of ebony, and it's in the shape of a dude with his arms crossed and everything.
I need.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a guess
How-
and say this is.
How long is the bench that we have?
Not long enough to go down there if you want. They've got 4 vehicles. It's not like they couldn't.
I need. So Godfrey gets on the radio and says, "I need the bench down here.
No, that's
I
easy.
found something."
That's easy. Oh, they're all standing around when they pull it up. They're like, wow, because they want to make sure the stand thing doesn't break out and fall either, right? So you got a whole
Right.
team there. You've got guys out on the perimeter watching what's going on, but you also have a team in there with you. They're like, hey, that's really cool. Oh, you want that out of there?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, no problem. They pull it out. You've got right now. You have like 5 or 6 burly guys who are in the military who know what they're doing, and will do whatever you ask them to. They're under your orders, and so they pull it out, and it is a large, and I mean, it's easily 8 feet long. It's about 4 feet high, and it's made out of wood and seems to be overlaid with gold, and it's
This is prophecy
covered.
cross.
And it's covered in hieroglyphs and symbols, which of course you can't read at this point.
Yes, this is about prophecy cross.
Yeah.
I am going to take pictures and send a report to Mr. White.
Okay, and Mr. White's like, okay, that's kind of what we expected to find. We're translating these symbols now. Your job there is basically done. Head
Do you want us to take this with you back to main base?
Not you two. Yeah, that'll be taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We may just wind up giving it to the museum in Cairo. The actual sarcophagus itself is irrelevant to us. It's the information that's on it that we want.
Right.
The only thing that's going to be in there is a dead body.
Full 360s of it.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to be in there is a mummy from the 3rd millennium BC, and that's irrelevant to us.
Oh, how riveting.
Yeah, that's for human science to fart around and play with and pretend that it makes a difference.
Okay, so then, Reese, I believe our job here is done.
Yeah, it's more important that we know who that gentleman was.
So, Mr. White got an out for us, or another mission?
As you speak, a helicopter is landing
Oh, well then, that is that.
to take you back to Cairo, where your jet is waiting. You are being flown to London, and you will have a few days off in London before we have a new assignment for you. Things are moving. We took a bad hit losing as many teams as we did, so we will be relying on your expertise a lot more.
Perfectly fair.
Good.
So for now, I'm going to end it here because that was really all I had to work with. I just had a small extension of what we started with. I hope you guys enjoyed it and had fun with it. I hope you got the impression that you are definitely in for a rough time if you don't do properly.
Yeah. Well, like the whole thing is I fucking get stroked too much, and
don't believe it.
Especially as a player character, it's don't. John is gonna puff you up, Gordy. Don't fall for it.
Pretty much.
Don't fall for it. He's lying.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, the way it's going to work is they currently have 10 points in their humanity. So they have as much humanity as they can possibly have and still be possessed by a demon. So they have as much control as they can possibly have and still be possessed. If they start to lose that humanity, so when I said don't roll a 1, rolling a 1 means you lose a point of that humanity. And the next time it'll be a 2. And the time after that it'll be a 3. So it becomes easier and easier to slip down that path, the less humanity you have. And as that happens, they will act or they will lose control to the demon that's in them. And actions will be taken out of their hands and will act in the nature of the demon. So an envy demon, the kind of person who will kill a hooker in the middle of the night because how dare you touch the person I'm possessing? He's mine. Everything is mine. Everything is mine. And a pride demon will take crazy risks and show off and not give a shit about keeping secrets and the like because, man, I'm the best. I'm the king.
Well, yeah, literally the pride demon. If you've seen the picture, we should link to Mr. Chow's or Mr. Chew's.
Send me a link and I will include it in the description of the video to Mr. Chew's.
It's in the Frost-Eater chat.
It's in the Frost-Eater chat? Excellent. Okay,
yeah.
I will save it to my desktop and you will find a link to the artwork that inspired this roleplay down below in the description of the video. And if you want to check the artwork out and help support Robert Chew and his attempt to create cool art, that's a fantastic idea. As it stands, you can always like, share, and subscribe to us, of course, so you never miss another role-playing game. I'm going to call it here. The team is on its way to London, where they'll have a few days off, and they will continue in the quest to discover the identity of the entity known as the Cursed King and what it has to do with saving the world.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.